The wall is Detroit.
Detroit.
It is invading you with cellular truth. The sail is a grid, it bites. It tastes of rind. The rind is a tether, the tether is a word. The word is a prayer, it does not know itself. The rind is knowledge, it knows the grid of your mouth. Detroit lives inside. It is solid with industry. Smog is the image of the cell. It is billboard cool.
Billboard.
We walk the high point casino real solid as your teeth. It breeds educated men and women who die at night. They live in the opening of the wall. The wall is their head in the grid of the day. They make love to its image.
They make love.
Its image is fear.
They make love to its image.
They swallow it whole. They float on the surface. They smoke traffic lights and creep into millennium high on necessity. Their memory is a wound with 40-ounce dance sobriety. It is a weapon. There's death on the political grunts of votes. Her art cafe grunts, smelling of cheap flesh and Cadillacs. Communion at 6 p.m., the altar of time. We move like snake oil rhetoric against the grid. Its texture is boxed cheese. Time card rape, it sounds like money. Chance is stuck in the mouth of the city. A holy war of blue team prisons and collages of bullet love. The holy pride of steel. Juggernaut movie-only mesh of jettison nucleus revolution. Storefront misery and little sister script. The knowledge of the wall like us is telephone type-room hustle. Tricks of mythology and canned chance of quick grits and game. Hungry for mesh sandwiches of luck. Tasting chance at the gold fin, the Coney Island beauty of deep sleep. We wait for light. Amen. The hole in your head is Detroit a stop sign. Movement is skill and fried chance. Fast food prisons of sweat. The grid is rhyme and freeze the Mac money. Anger and rolling your pork joint boxes of meaning glean as paychecks. Lip wrap dances of gas farts, vanilla dreams, and black muscle mysteries of veins. Requiem for needles. Fried into data brew. Lick at the bone of the grid. Wet with desire. Mickey Mouse country bars, multiple shots of rose falling through the hole of suffer to engage. Pedestrian Bible thumping midnight shift screaming jeopardy at the wind. Eyes Rolodex windows of glitter. The way home is scaling a hope. The naked chest of chance, the pork pie slow wit of God. Skin is the coffin slow shaking Monday dice. Aim for the top. The sleep, benediction. Chance is the road to Nirvana. Disc jockey spunk nerves of Sunday, the playground of Jesus. Wet cup messes of 5-star hotels, 10-cent orgasm of telemarketing heroes.
Only a dime.
The war roots and techno fiend landscape stage for policies of carcasses. Rusted wine of grid of the day. Images of strangled chance aborted at the mouth. Lucid! I pray to small. Lucid! I pray to small gas chance.
Detroit. And I would like to introduce to you a person that I have been wanting to work with for a long time now, and that is Semaj Brown. She is a wonder. She is a wonder. And I have been wanting to be in the same, breathing the same air with her for a while. And And I guess that's the same as sharing the same squares here on Zoom. So I'm going to recount some of her bio for you.
And as you prepare to do that, if there's any people that would like to read in the open mic after Semaj Brown, please put your name in the chat. And then we'll get, after Semaj, after this feature performance, we'll go to the open mic.
All right. Semaj Brown is today Flint, Michigan's inaugural poet laureate. She is a thought leader and a real significant writer of words and performer of words. She received the Academy of American Poets Poet Laureate Fellow, she is, from 2021. She's an author of Bleeding Fire, Tap the Eternal Spring of Regenerative Light. She was a part of the Poetry Pod Project called P3, an interdisciplinary literary arts and science innovation. She is an essayist, columnist, university lecturer, playwright, and director of theatrical productions. Semaj Brown is a daughter of Detroit who has collaborated with some of Detroit's finest musicians and dance artists. Folks like Ross Kente, Clifford Sykes, Issa Ibramoline, Heru House, Michelle McKinney, and the late great Farouk Z. Bey. Her chief creative collaborator, her love and husband, Dr. James Brown, MD, inventor of the R balloon, which is a custom-made percussion instrument, has helped produce Semaj's debut poetry album and concert, Tongue Tied, Wave Rock, a soundtrack and art video with key cinematography by Brooklyn-based international artist Jasmine Morel, stage and essay odysseys in African-American history and culture, By Ocean, by Fire, and Mother Ocean, the buying, frying, making, baking of African-American domestic stereotypes, which was performed at Charles H. Wright Museum of African-American History, the Flint Institute of Arts, Indiana University, and University of Michigan Law School. Semaj first read her poetry live at Horizons in Poetry in 1982. Her new publication, Walking Rivers, is slated for a 2023 release. As we launch this return, we are highly honored and pleased that Semaj has come full circle back to her roots. She has never ceased to reinvent, redefine, and reinvigorate the realm of spoken word, and that is an understatement. Welcome home, Semaj Brown. And with that, I turn it over to you.
Good evening, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here. Thank you. Thank you, Ron Allen Project. Thank you, Ruby Woods. Thank you, Marsha Music. Thank you to our host that was so gracious. Both of you, absolutely wonderful. And for all the people that are here attending, I'm so, so grateful that you are here. I'm going to present Mother Ocean to you this evening. And I'll present myself as well, and the Little River Girl. But let me tell you a bit about Mother Ocean, Making of a New Tribe. This piece was created as a response to the Jerry Taliaferro exhibit at the Flint Institute of Arts. It was called Women of a New Tribe. And it was absolutely extraordinary. What Jerry Taliaferro did was take pictures of Flint women, and they were in black and white, the historical, the typical 1950s Hollywood life-size pictures. and they were displayed in the gallery of the Flint Institute of Arts. So when I walked in there, it was just really awesome to see ourselves in this light, which we generally do not. And I started to feel something. And I hadn't written a poem in almost a decade. And I actually thought poetry had just gone its way. I thought it left with the death of my daughter. I said, well, she took poetry with her. I had been writing plays. I've been working in healthcare with my husband. I've been writing curriculum. So be it. I had my time with poetry, so I thought. So I got home. I started feeling this rumbling inside of me, like a train far away. And I called my cousin Linda and I said, Linda, I think I have a poem coming on. She said, a poem? You mean a poem like one of your poems? I said, yes, like the way I used to write. She said, okay. She said, do you have your water? I said, yes. She said, okay, I'll call you back in 2 hours. She said, just let it flow. And I said, all right. She said, what do you see? I said, I see skulls. I see an ocean. I said, it's part of our story. It's so disturbing. She said, I'll call you in 2 hours. And so this poem continued to fill my body, and out it went as I was like a scribe. That night, it continued to turn me around and dream. And in the morning, it completed itself. It had its way with me. So I called up Mama Aneb, Dr. House, and I said, I'd like to read you something. And she said, all right. Anybody knows Dr. House, you know how calm she is. She said, all right. I said, after I read, she said, Semaj, it's a gift. She said, don't be surprised. It's a gift. And I said, okay. Then the director of the FIA heard it. He said, would you present it for the gala? And I was just fresh off the page. I hadn't even typed it up. And I did. And then I was invited to the African American Museum, and then to the Flint Institute of Arts. And then they studied it at Indiana University. And so this poem and other universities has wings like an ocean. And it starts out with a little river girl. And she says, I talked to the ocean. I asked Mother Ocean, how long after mental passage did it take to heal your daughters? How did you shape such a beautiful, distinct creation? Mother Ocean answered in stilled serenity. It's been 400 years. I sculpted them from promise. Oh, they were complete in the beginning, throughout, and remain whole today. Their memory was stolen. Their memory was stolen. Could not remember gold of Benin or family compounds, a Kabylon antiquity birthing science. Could not remember Moorish Spain. Timbuktu, world center of trade and commerce and scholarship. Could not remember Queen Nzinga, Iron Forge French Quarter, or the original tongues of Fula and Yoruba. Mother Ocean, waves lifted, they fell, and she continued. I fashioned each death new. folded feminine fluid into flesh, pooling ancient memories floating in time. They were recreated from the scarring flow of centuries, formed by amniotic river pulsing their veins. They speak the language of water now. And water is spirit, and spirit remembers. Water is spirit, and spirit remembers. I am the ocean remembering when they cannot. My daughters came to me, Mother Ocean, as cargo, chains, in death vessels that heaved frothy blood in the crest of my waves. My daughters came to me, Mother Ocean, shredding skin, decomposing wounds, fodder for sea monsters and new world rapists. Millions and millions and millions and millions and collapsed in the inconceivable lap of violating current, descended to maritime grave, asphyxiated by the horror of what was yet to suffer. But on my ocean floor, I rocked them in a crucible of seaweed and succor. I coddled them in the ebb of choral incantations. I washed them with those two aquatic lovers, hydrogen and oxygen. Oh yes, I cleaned. And I christened their white bone skeletons in briny blessed assurance. And as ocean, I followed that tide of dripping gore across myself. I never left my daughters. I persisted in all my forms, sometimes water vapor, whispering dignity, sometimes hailstorm, summoning the strength of Ella Baker ancestors. Mother Ocean's waves begin to swell and quake like flying blue tarpaulin, dredging sea and individual sea into her amorphous body. And again I ask, Mother Ocean, how long did it take you to heal your daughters after Jim Crow? Seems like eternity, but it's just a drop. And in every drop, there exists eternity. Oh, they were always whole, even with captured memory, even with lynching, Tulsa Holocaust, extermination of their godmen husbands, mass incarceration, waterboarded psyche. They were always whole. My daughter's brains are incredible, masterful filtering systems, always filtering hope from horror faith from fear, trauma from triumph. An anointed, amazing grace sieve, where gray matter that matters lives. These daughters of ocean, of rain and drizzle, of water cycle alchemy, ascend from the entrails of Atlantic, shooting aspirations vertical from the deep silt of sea, standing on the testament of their ancestors. They are reverse waterfalls standing erect. Reverse waterfalls standing on water, standing in boardrooms. Say her name. Standing in courtrooms. Say her name. Standing in legislatures. Say her name. Standing in hospitals. Say her name. Standing, yes, standing on corners, say her name. Standing in shelters, say her name, Sandra Bland, say her name, Breonna Taylor, say her name. Standing in educational institutions, standing as artists, athletes, entrepreneurs, standing in service as secretaries and waitresses, standing in wealth and the fluids, yes, and standing in poverty, standing on her knees in poverty, in prayer, in churches, on her knees, in prayer, in mosques, standing on her knees at altars, in poverty of indigenous ritual, and standing with humanity, standing up, standing up, standing up, I said standing. In Lansing capital as unlikely activists against state-sponsored poisoning of 100,000 Flint residents. Grandmothers and grandchildren standing. Mother of Eden. Original prototype with opaque skin, with eyes of stained glass wisdom and legacy washed hair, gravity defying hair, hair stretching towards Sirius B star heaven hair, celestial strands. I tell you, water is spirit, and spirit remembers. Water is spirit, and spirit remembers. Call it our ocean intuition. Call it grit. Call it grit. Call it Holy Ghost. Oh, call it Holy Ghost. Call it ancestral angel fire. How else can you explain these hidden figures? Female frequency sculpting formation with water pick chisel. How else can you explain a Nina Simone, an Oprah, Dr. Jemison, Dr. Gloria House, Mother James, General Harriet Tubman, and 50 fantabulous women who represent constellations of supernova stars who became this tribe of women who are the women of a new tribe.
Semaj has returned and looking resplendent. And we want to thank you for such a powerful presentation that evoked so much in our American experience and the diasporic aspect of your work. So would you like to continue now? Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much. I
Yes.
really appreciate it. I didn't want to, I wanted to let Mother Ocean be where Mother Ocean is and return to Semaj. So it's wonderful. Thank you. And I have a poem called, oh, it's over here. I'm in the wrong book, called Black Dandelion. And this poem has been selected, I'm really excited by it, to be sent throughout the United States to thousands of children, middle and high school, through the Academy of American Poets. And they'll study the poem with their teachers. And then they're going to write, it's called Dear Poet Project. And then they're going to write letters to me and to the poets who are selected. And I'll get to find out what the children, the young people are thinking about this poem. It's called Black Dandelion. Age 4, witnessed my first mow down. Twinkling ground stars cut by murderous lawnmower, feeling the blade. I fell, curled like a snail in grief. 12 moons folded into spring. Perennial promises prevailed. Bees, oh, the bees celebrated the return of the dandelions in a skirt of twirling yellow bliss. Flowering bouffants mirrored my spiky little afro. Jagged edge lion's tooth leaves paid tribute to my snaggletooth smile. Me and my freedom fighting flowers frolicked to survive the scissoring, the updigging, the poisoning. Warning signs hovered like low-hanging clouds. No blooming allowed. Blossoms will be prosecuted. These brave plants, they grew just for me. Grew in spite of a society that favored a monochromatic landscape. 1965. Mr. Brother Malcolm X was assassinated. Big word for a pre-kindergartner. I was convinced he must have been a dandelion. Reverend King too. And the Johnson boy who lived one turn down the street that way. The Johnson boy was shot by the police for growing in a monochromatic landscape. Training wheels off. Bike riding across insecure cement. I pedaled the bumpy path, waving solidarity to each surviving sunburst noggin, each fulfilling the promise to ornament lawns and flourish souls with lemon drop hope. Dandelions bear art of endurance and escape, transforming into pearl puffs, floating with ephemeral attention, carrying the spirit of the weed. 13 moons faded into July. I am a proud weed. Yes, I declared that shocking proclamation, standing in the pulpit on Youth Sunday at Vernon Chapel AME Church. Woo-hoo. I added to my speech on David and Goliath my impromptu improvisation of dandelion dogma. We are Black dandelions, I said, who will never be destroyed. We grow the power of goodness for generations into the future. I yet remember the framed faces of the pious, the amused, and the mortified. So that's Black Dandelion. I think my time is almost up. And I'm going to end with just this quick one. Thank you. With this quick, among the people of the tongue, oh, among the people of the pierced tongue, among the people of the tongue pierced, among the people of the tongue pierced tongue, among the people of the tongue pierced tongue, among the people of the tongue pierced tongue pierced. I'm out. Thank you, Detroit.
Oh my goodness. My goodness, you are amazing. You're just amazing. Oh my goodness. I am so glad to be in this ether with you, in this proximity with you.
Grateful to be here. I don't know when I started out, did I thank anybody? I can't remember, but I meant to say thank you. Ruby Woods, thank you for inviting me. I thank Ron Allen for his great friendship. We were very dear friends. This is very emotional for me to return to this. We were the best of friends. And so this is really very special. I thank the host, both of you are so wonderful, absolutely, and awesome. I met you, thank you so much. And thank you, Ruby. And this is wonderful, bringing this back. I really appreciate it.
My goodness, it's been an honor to be here with you and to hear your words. Thank you.
Thank you.